Alrighty, so now that we've got this basic chord technique down, I want to talk to you about 9 chords that if you know these 9 chords, you will literally be able to play millions of songs, okay? No joke, okay? You've heard me say this before. But we're going to start with, well, let me tell you what they are first, and then I'm going to show you how each chord is kind of similar to another and how I want you to think about them, okay? So the chords are E minor, E major, A minor, A major, D minor, D major, G, B7, and C. Okay? These are known as open chords because we have open strings in them. And they're just the chords that collectively you're going to be using all the time. There's other chords that we'll be using, obviously, but these are the chords that you'll be using a ton, okay? So you're going to want to refer to the attachment that's related to this lesson, but here's how I want you to think about your E and your E minor, okay? These are very similar chords in the way that they look. So the first chord, the E minor, is the one that we learned before, the one that we were using in our chord technique. Second and third finger are down on the 2nd fret. Well, the only difference between the E minor and the E is our first finger comes down here on the 3rd string, on the G, 1st fret, and just place that finger there. That's the difference between E major and E minor. What I want you to do, this is one of the practices here, you can write this down, is I want you to practice going in between an E minor and an E. And at first, remember, slowly arpeggiate through the chord to make sure you can hear all the notes. Okay? Now, take that E major, drop it down. It looks very similar to an A minor. So you're just going to drop that down, 1 string, okay? And you're going to pick from the 5th string, or the A, down. Okay? That's an A minor. A major, or A, you're going to lift your first finger up and put your pinky on the same fret that the 2nd and 3rd are on, which is the 2nd fret. Okay? So here's A minor, and here's A. Notice that it's just a slight difference. The only difference is that the first finger is either being down or the pinky is being down. This is A major, A minor, A major, A minor. So get used to doing those two together. Okay, this is where your pick rest technique is also going to come in handy. Your pick control by picking from the 5th string down. We're picking from the 5th string down because the A is the bass note of the chord, and that's the name of the chord. So that's what we want to play in the bass most of the time. Okay, and then we said a D minor. Refer to your attachment there. It looks like this. Okay. And we're going to pick here from the 4th string, the D, down. And then your D is going to look like this. Obviously, you're not going to be getting this on the fly. Most likely, you're not going to be getting this on the fly unless you've been through these chords before. So don't worry, that's okay. This is stuff that you're going to be practicing on your own this week. Okay, and here's a D chord. So notice that the 3rd finger, what I'm wanting you to notice is similarities between these chords because it's really going to help if you don't have to lift all your fingers up to transition between chords. Say if I was going from a D to a D minor, I wouldn't have to move this 3rd finger, right? Because it's the same for both chords. Okay? So just doing that little movement like this without doing any sort of picking is a great exercise because you're learning to control those fingers without having to mess with anything over here or getting frustrated with sounds. I'm just moving those fingers back and forth, okay? Obviously, you're going to be going slower at first because you're learning control of these fingers. So take your time, though, okay? All right, so D to D minor. Here's what your D sounds like. Again, this is the 5th string, or D string down. Okay? Then we're going to go to a G. Now notice the third finger is not going to move. Third finger is going to stay glued down, okay? So if I was going from a D to a G, that third finger does not move. I call that a pivot finger or an anchor, and it's really important that you get used to not moving that finger. So practicing between your D and your G back and forth is a great technique to do as well. Okay? Okay, a B7 looks much like a G. Okay? You're going to scooch it back a fret, move the first and second down, move the third up. That's a B7. And you're going to play from the 5th string down, or the A string. And so if you want to say go back and forth between the G and the B7, that's a great technique as well. A great exercise, if you will. Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the last one is a C chord. Looks like this. And you're going to strum from the 5th string down. Okay, those are your 9 basic open chords. Practice them slowly with that slow arpeggio technique, and you will master these in no time and be able to play millions of songs. Keep going. You can do this.